Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another session of TeachMeetNZ. The exciting event for us this time is that TeachMeetNZ is approximately 2 years old, and we've had over 80 educators join us to share their learning within 3 minutes. We've got a fabulous lineup today, and I'll get you to introduce themselves one at a time. Oh, by the way, my name is Sonia Van Schaik, and I'm broadcasting to you from Auckland, New Zealand. My school is Newmarket School. Okay, Ben, I'm going to hand the camera across to you. Oh, sorry, someone's got the background. Someone has got their... Kathy, that's you. Kathy?
Pardon?
No. I'm getting feedback. Someone's got their... Oh, I know it. Sorry, guys, it was me. My fault. I had to teach me. There's two technical issues for Sonia today. I've had a challenge.
Sonia, you're going in and out for me.
That's all right. We start again. I'm going to pass the camera across to Ben. That was my fault. I had the TeachMeetNZ site open, and so it was also broadcasting from there. Well, it's good to know that the site is live. Ben, you're next.
Thank you, Sonia. I'm Ben Britton from Wellington High School. I teach maths and also drive the 3D printers.
Great. Thanks, Ben. Carol, you're up next.
Hi, I'm Carol Bush. I'm from Auckland, New Zealand, and I'm the Associate Leader of Learning at Ormiston Primary School.
Thank you. And James?
Hi, I'm James Hopkins. I work for Core Education, and I'm based in Auckland.
Thank you, James. I'm Kathy.
Hi, I'm Kathy. I'm the timekeeper. I'm at Prospect School in West Auckland.
Thank you, Kathy. Manal. Manal, your sound is gone. You've got it off.
Yes. Hello, I'm Manal. I'm a Year 1 teacher, Reading Recovery, ICT lead teacher and assistant principal at Broadland School in New Zealand.
Thank you, Manal. Monica. You've got your mic off. Monica, you need to turn it back on.
Such a beginner's mistake. Hey, hi everyone. I'm Monica. I work for Expanding Learning Horizons now over here in Australia, Brisbane. And I'm really happy that I can stay in touch with my good Kiwi buddies through TeachMeetNZ.
And Monica today is our Twitter broadcaster. Nick, welcome. Nick, you need to turn your camera on.
Hi guys, I'm Nick Briley. I'm from Sydney, Australia, and I teach at St Teresa's Primary School here in Sydney. And I also do a little bit of chat stuff online with Aussie.
Thank you, Nick. Great to have you with us. Ritu.
Hi, I'm Ritu Seji, and I'm at Westlake Boys High School, TIC Food Technology, HOD now. So, yeah.
Thank you, Ritu. And Steve.
Kia ora, I'm Steve Cartney. I'm from Richmond Primary School, Maraenui in Napier, New Zealand, and I'm the DP.
Welcome, Steve, and welcome to everyone here with us today. So exciting to have you all here, and we've got a great lineup of discussion happening. If I could ask the team to please turn off your cameras and your microphones, and I'm going to call up first. We've got James. You are up first. So James, if you can turn your camera on, and the camera is now on you.
Thanks, Sonia. Lucky me getting to go first today. All right. And hit present.
I'll leave my sound on till you're through. James, yes, we can see it, and it's live. Okay, I'm turning my sound off now. Off you go.
Hi, I'm James Hopkins. I work for Core Education, as I said a moment ago. I'm based in Auckland, and I've been very lucky to spend the last month in the Manaakilani cluster down in Tāmaki. Today I actually just want to talk to you about student voice in the wider world. At the moment, blogging is massive within the Tamaki and Manaikalani cluster, down in the Tamaki region of Auckland. And it has a huge purpose in that it creates this entire visible, complex situation where learning is all visible, and it's not just the tip of the iceberg that you would normally see in a portfolio. It's designed to carefully connect way outside of the school. It connects with the community, it connects with the school obviously, but it also connects across continents, and these children are monitoring their learning on a regular basis, and it creates this huge element of visibility. The Manaikalani at the moment has anywhere between 1,000 and 1,500 students who are blogging at any given point, and that's a huge amount of noise, almost a cacophony of blogging noise on the internet. But what the Manaikalani do through very careful teaching and through a really clever shared understanding is they turn that into a very clear shared voice across the entire internet. Now, at the moment, I've taken a couple of screenshots in here to show you that on the left-hand side there, you can see the blog archive, and you can see it's a very specific journey. It's a constant sharing. It's not just sharing, this is my final piece of work. It's a constant sharing of the journey of the learning that the student's taking. And that then aids the connection process, and it really develops the conversations, because the conversations aren't just about the outcome, the conversations about the process that's taking place. I've also grabbed the Student Blogging Challenge, which is underway at the moment. It might be a way to get involved. Building a culture in the classroom. At the moment, from what I could see, from what I've been part of, I've been fortunate to see that teachers have built a very clear culture where they've explained that it's as easy to connect to a student across the other side of the world, time zone dependent of course, as it is to talk to the student on the table next to you. It's about redefining the classroom walls, and the classroom walls are only limited by the understanding of the students and of the teacher in that room. If you can change your definition to include the rest of the world, you're really going to start flying. And why has it been successful? It's been cleverly built into programs, and it becomes part of the classroom program, but it also becomes part of the extended learning day. Children choose to go and find other students' blogs to comment on, and it's the comments that build the richness rather than the actual posts themselves. They're very vocal also about sharing when they have blogged. Commenting on these blogs is within a format, and you do see the positive and you see the well done, but you also see the thoughtful. I connected to your post because, and you see the helpful. I would love to know more about this. The comments are purposeful and therefore have purposeful outcomes. Why reading mileage? How very important. And I can hear the 3-minute bell. And the reading mileage and the level of communication that then happens, but also just the amazing element that you get to develop social awareness and digital citizenship all the way through. You can imagine then the next time the student's writing for a purpose, that their purpose is, and their awareness of the audience is no longer, oh, I'm writing this, my teacher's going to mark it and going to hand it back to me. I'm writing this and it could be viewed across continents. So my moments to ponder as I start to finish up are that learning has to be visible as a process all the way through. The final outcome is a very small piece. A blog is just one method, but it happens to be a very successful one within the Manaikalani, and that the substance comes from the discussion within the comments, not from the echo chamber and the well done. I'll leave you with a handful of links. Have a look at the Manaikalani blog and the manaikalani.org website. They are absolutely fantastic resources. Thank you very much.
Thank you, James. That's fabulous. Fabulous to hear more from what's coming out of the wonderful Manaikalani project. Okay, if I can get everyone to turn your cameras back on, please, and your mics, and let's give James some discussion. That'll be wonderful. All quiet. James, I know you haven't been there. You haven't been with the team long, eh? That's correct. Not long at all.
Yeah. So my role is actually as a Manaikalani outreach facilitator, but I haven't actually started facilitating as part of the outreach sector. So I've spent the last 5 weeks, just absorbing the Manaikalani in the Tamaki region, and I feel very fortunate to have been down there.
Okay. Thank you, James. Anyone else?
Us waiting out people to ask questions. So
Thanks,
hopefully
Ritu.
we'll get a few questions.
Cool. Thanks, Ritu.
I've got a question
Am I
for you,
next?
Steve.
No, hang on.
All
Sorry,
right.
who?
Sorry, James, I have a question. I teach maths in high school and I see my kids for 3 hours a week. Have you got any good examples of people using blogs and that sort of time constraint?
Funnily enough, I mean, Tamaki College is within the Manaiakalani cluster, and what they're doing with a combination of the blogs that some of the students have taken with them from primary school and kept open, but what they're doing with Google Plus communities is amazing. They have begun sharing their learning and extending the conversations within publicly visible Google Plus communities, but only members of those communities can comment. Obviously, once you get up into high school and you start sharing your learning, there is that, oh, and we're sharing far too much because it starts to cloud and copy for NCA standards and things like that. But the students within there sharing their learning, specifically within their design and technology element of it, is absolutely amazing. They're sharing the process and they're talking through what they're doing, and then they're choosing to blog as an extra on top of that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Is anyone else? I'll pass the camera now to you, Ben. You're next.
Thank you.
And if we could turn our cameras off, please, and our sounds.
Okay, am I ready?
Yeah, the camera's on you, Ben.
Thank you. So I'm Ben Britton. I'm from Wellington High School. I'm a maths teacher there, but I also drive the 3D printers and got them introduced to the school. Now, I've been using 3D printers.
Sorry, Ben, sorry to interrupt. Have you got your slides up, mate?
I do have my slides up.
Okay, you need to share your screen.
Okay.
That's the little green button, remember, on the left?
Yep. I forgot that button. I forgot to do that, and I am...
That's it.
Okay.
All right, so if you want to start again, we can see your slides. If you want to start again, that's fine. Okay, Kathy, if you can reset the timer.
I'll start again.
Thanks.
So, Ben Britton, Wellington High School. Yep. Ben Britton from Wellington High School. I'm the maths teacher, and I drive the 3D printers and got them introduced to the school. I've been using 3D printers for about 5 years now, from the first time I saw them, and I've been really inspired by the potential they have to use with my students. Now, 3D printers allow you to do things that would never have been possible before. They are a disruptive technology that has been changing the way things are manufactured, and it's going to change the way we relate to manufactured objects. When you have a 3D printer sitting beside you, it's like you've got a little factory that can make anything you want sitting at your desk. All you need to do is imagine what to make. A lot of schools have seen this and are really keen to get in on the party. In the last 2 years, many schools have gone out and bought their first printer. But once you have it, the first thing you figure out is that you need to know what to do with it. Last year, as part of an e-fellowship, I got a chance to talk to teachers all around New Zealand to find out how they had used their 3D printers and what value they were adding to the teaching. Now, the big change that 3D printers bring is that they make producing your designs easy. This is a picture of my 4-year-old daughter designing a swimming pool for a Christmas present. Once she'd done the design, the printer turned it into an object. Knowing that the printer is going to take care of creating the design frees students up. This student designed this earbud holder. Imagine trying to carry off that design with hand tools in a school workshop. It would have been very, very difficult. In this architecture project, students were using the 3D printer to create fiddly pieces and bits of the design that would have been very, very difficult to do well by hand. Again, this freed students up to create a design that they really cared about, not something that they felt they would be able to pull off. Because the 3D printer takes care of producing things, and it does it quickly, it means students can go through a much, much more realistic design cycle. They can start off with a rough prototype and then gradually improve it. All they need to do is tweak the design, and the printer takes care of creating the object, really speeding the process up, so they can get something that really actually works. 3D printers can be used in many different areas. In this food technology project, it was used to create a very customized cutter for some candies. In this project, students used the 3D printers to design the first step of a longer design process. The printer created the blank, which was used to create a mold, which was used to create pewter jewelry that the students got to take home. Now here is a link to here are a few ideas for some good software to get yourself started. SketchUp is a very, very good thing to start with, going up to things like Blender, which are very hard to learn, but very useful. There's new software coming out all the time. Please Google for some review sites, and you'll get some really good ideas. And that's me.
Oh, wow.
Well done, Ben. You were bang on time.
Thank you.
Great.
I couldn't help commenting, sorry.
Okay. Ben, if you can turn your camera back on to turn off your shared screen, and you'll be back with us. But yeah, lovely, great to, yeah, you are. Great to hear about the 3D printing. I'm looking forward to having ours arrive from school. And just as a side mention, I was really interested that on the journey I've just come back from Singapore to a WELS conference, World Education Leaders Conference, and I met, sitting beside me was a vice president of a motorbike factory, and he was telling me how they used 3D printers at his factory in India to create a prototype so that they don't have too much money going into the original product. And it's been great. It was great to have. Anyone else?
That was one of the initial uses for 3D printers, for prototyping.
Yeah.
Now,
cool.
Now anybody can use them.
Hi, Ben. I had a question.
Yeah, Ritu?
Yes, Ritu?
Yeah. Ben, I was just wondering, you talked about the cookie cutters to do lollies and other things. Could we literally create food products? So say if you wanted to do icing on cake or something, could you design that and then print it on the icing?
There are 3D printers that print with food. They are just coming down to the level where schools can afford them, but they're still quite experimental. Do be looking out for them. 3D printing System sent out some advertising with a food printer.
All right. Did you have any links?
Yeah.
I had links to software there. I didn't have a link to a food printer. I haven't seen a food printer that I think is... They're still in the prototyping stage. They're still being actively designed. I don't think there are any on the mass market yet.
Thank you.
We had a father come from a chef, and he created a 3D printer. He based not a machine as such, but he just came in with some the forcing bags, and he had created a whole pile of ingredients, and he showed the children how a 3D printer would work.
That's excellent for showing the ideas.
That's good. Yeah.
And look, I've got my eFellow charm that Ben made all the eFellows 14 for last year, and I'm wearing it around my ankle, Ben.
Oh, that's nice.
I still have it.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, my oldest son started at a new school that in their STEM class is using the 3D printer, and I'm very adamant that he should be designing me a Raspberry Pi case. But yeah, being 15 years old, he doesn't always want to do what mother asks. So I might have to come back to someone else.
Cell phone case would get him hooked though.
Okay, Steve, you had a question?
Yeah, Ben, do you have any flipped instructions for my classroom to use?
Not. You're talking about flipped classroom instructions for using a 3D printer?
Yeah, because it's getting them to understand that they can create it and then upload the STL code. I've sort of got. I'll be very interested to see what you guys do. Even if I get my kids to Skype yours.
Okay, we can talk about that later to arrange something. Normally what I do is I pull up a modeling program. The students can choose whichever one suits them, so they can choose one that suits the platform that they're working on. There's a lot of great things available so that you can do it on a Chromebook. And then get one of the kids in class to design something really basic, even a cube, export the STL, and just show them how to use your own printer software. Each printer these days comes with a different interface, which is kind of annoying. So what I use at school, we have two different brands of printer. We have the UP printers and the XYZ printers. Both of them use different software to actually do the print. So flip instruction might not be the best.
Okay. Any more questions before I pass it through? Right. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Sonia.
Carol, you're up next.
Awesome. Let's find my screen share.
Yep, it's coming through. If we could have all our cameras off, please. We can see it now, Carol. You're currently up on slide 3.
Don't want to be there then, really, do I?
Okay, and we're back to slide 1, Carol. You're on your way. I'm turning off my mic.
Cool, thank you. Hi, my name's Caro Bush. I'm one of 2 assistant leaders of learning at Ormiston Primary School, which is a brand new school in Flatbush in Auckland. We opened it 9 weeks ago and it's still open. This is just a bit of a background to how I changed my reading and literacy theories, pedagogy and practice. It all started at an EduCamp in Christchurch, where I met a girl by the name of Stephanie Thompson. She tweets as Train the Teacher. She's really good, worthwhile to follow. We had some discussion around reading pedagogy, and then at an Auckland EduCamp I met up with Amanda Signal, who tweets as Hey Millie, another good person to follow, and we sort of talked around the ideas of Daily 5, which is something I had been investigating. One of the precursors to actually getting started with it was reading the book by Donna Lynn Miller called The Book Whisperer. I think every educator should have to read that if you're teaching reading and writing. I trialled the Daily, to make it clear, the Daily 5 is a management system. Donna Lynn Miller provided the understanding and the pedagogy. I trialled it, Daily 5, using total reader choice, so I had no levelled books, no groups. Every child was reading what they wanted to read. I trialled that for 2 years over 4 different class levels, and they all really took to it. And I used the Daily 5 as the tracking and the management system to ensure that I had a complete literacy program. Some of the challenges came from my senior leadership team at the time was how can you teach a group who aren't all reading the same book? And my answer to that is it's not about the books, it's about the skill. You can teach inferencing over a whole pile of different books. It doesn't have to be everybody reading the same. So one of the things I did that was the biggest influence on my practice was I stopped giving levelled books and went totally with reader choice. This is because bookshops, libraries and grandma's bookshelf are not levelled, and the children, if you give them the range, they will step up and they'll read. My outcomes were having happy learners who confidently could choose their own reading material. We had to do a lot of teaching. It's in the Daily 5 book. If you go online, you'll be able to find it about how to choose best fit books. I also got rid of all my reading resource packs and whole class novels. So what I do instead now is I choose a selection of quality literature and just read a part of it, maybe a couple of pages or a chapter, and then the children that want to take on that book and keep reading it, choose it. Anecdotally, parents noted that the children were choosing to read in their downtime, and the first thing whenever I meet any of the children from these classes outside of school is they rush to tell me what book they're currently reading. Reading stamina went through the roof. When I started this program, they had 2 minutes at the beginning of the year. By the time we'd finished, it was well over an hour. And my message to teachers is to get rid of the reading arts and crafts. Pinterest is not pedagogy, and let the children read. I've included a couple of links there for you on Donna Lynn Miller and from the 2 sisters who started the Daily 5, and I've also linked in my You Learn Prezi from last year.
Thank you, Carol. Great to hear about the way that you've redesigned the reading at your school last year. Can we get everyone back, please, with your cameras and your microphones?
Caro, that was just so relevant for me. It's just exactly the position I'm in at the moment. And yes, it's that the challenge from the people who haven't actually been through that learning journey.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I would have a
Good
question.
timing, Carol.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
cut it
guys
down
have-
from 7 minutes.
The timing on you guys is fantastic. I hope I don't go over too much.
Hey, Tara, I've got a question about the Daily 5.
Yep.
How high up in age would you apply this in the literacy program? Up to what age would you think this is a suitable, or would you put any age restriction on it?
One big thing I've learned is not to put age restrictions on anything. So the way that we're running our literacy programs now, and the way that I've resourced the literacy program, is if the children want to read it, they can read it. The management around using the Daily 5, I think for any age, to work on words, work on writing, read to self, read to someone, and listen to reading, I would be happy if my 16-year-old daughter was doing that every day.
Great, thank you.
Okay. We've got Nick, you're up next. Are you ready for us?
I sure am.
Okay, the camera's on you. You need to turn your camera back on before you can switch to your shared screen.
And there we go.
Lovely. Okay,
Fantastic.
so now share your screen.
All right.
You need to share your screen.
I will, yeah.
Cool.
All right, hi guys. As I said, I'm Nick Briley. I'm from Sydney. We're just moving into a BYOD environment at my school, so we've started to use iTunes U. I'm sure a lot of you are probably very familiar with iTunes U, so I won't go into too many of the little details, but I'll just show you some examples of what I've done in my classroom. So yeah, I'm Nick Briley. I'm from Sydney. I do a little bit on Twitter, and I'm really pleased to participate with you guys because I've connected with you previously in different Twitter things, so I'm really pleased to be here today. Anyhow, iTunes U. It's essentially a free iTunes app that you can download and then create content, and the kids can go ahead and do the course that you create at their own speed. I've found that it's pretty easy to use and pretty easy to set up, so those people who are a bit scared of trying something new perhaps, the only thing you really need is an Apple ID, syllabus outcomes obviously, and the iTunes app, which is free. Knowledge of apps and ideas, that can all be developed later on. The app's broken down into 5 parts. You've got info, where you talk to the kids about what it is, posts, which is essentially where all the content is. Students can make their own notes, materials, that's where you put in the apps and photos and videos and all that sort of stuff, and an admin that you can change for yourself. Now this is what I really wanted to show you guys. This is one iTunes U course that I did with my students last year to prepare the school and my students for a BYD environment. So this was a science unit all about space that we did. But the thing is, the students that I taught, I'd already taught them 2 years previously about space, so I needed to do something different. So I decided to do an inquiry unit. There were 3 elements, basically, that we focused on. What do we already know? How can we share our knowledge with everyone else? And what do I want to know more about? And I'll talk to you about the activities that we did. But I just want to remind you guys, when you do something like this, and you say to kids, this is an app you can use, please don't force them to use it, because if you force them to use it, you might be limiting their creativity. Because as we know, these kids, they love their apps, and they might know an app that does exactly the same job, but better. So please don't tell them that they must use a certain app, because if they can do it better, let them. So the first part was, what do you already know? And I asked students to sketch note and blog about all the things that they knew already. So it's a really valuable form of pre-testing for me as a teacher, and I can see what they already know and perhaps a direction for where they can go. The second part, I actually presented on this in TeachMeetNZ on Thursday and Friday last week. A fabulous opportunity to come down to Christchurch and meet a lot of New Zealanders. But the talk was all about making a web series, and the kids all produced a separate episode about the solar system. We uploaded that to YouTube. So that was essentially how they can share the information that they already knew, put it out there online, and share it with everyone else. The next part was really cool. This is where I got the kids to design an inquiry question. about whatever they wanted to know more about in the space, to do with space. I'm sorry, I'll wrap it up. Whatever they wanted to know about in space. And so I got them to create their own iBook, and then we submitted that, and the kids can have that on their devices. And the last part is obviously an evaluation of their learning and what they thought of the unit. If you guys are keen to have a look at the course, I'll leave this, you'll be able to come back to this later and see the code. If you'd like to have another look at the presentation, there's a bit.ly link, bit.ly iTunes U spaced out. And of course you can contact me on Twitter for any other questions you might have. Thanks.
Thanks, Nick. That was great. Yes, I was speaking with Kathy about you had asked for extra time, and we'd negotiated you down. But it was great.
I'm sorry. I hope I didn't go too much. 3:35. That's right. Because that's actually a presentation I've done only once in Sydney, and it went for about 8 minutes. So I've cut it down quite a lot. I hope I didn't go too fast for you all.
No, it was great. It was great, and lovely to hear too about iTunes. I've been in and out of iTunes, but I still can't quite get it to work for me. So I'll be definitely coming to you for more information.
Oh, please do, and anyone else, that's totally fine. It's a really great platform for teachers, and obviously for kids to go and explore things at their own pace, which is great.
Okay.
Nick, I really liked your 3 questions. You know, what do you know? Can't remember the other 2 now, but I thought that was a really good way of structuring the inquiry. Yeah,
well, I think you have to, well, with any unit, you need to know, well, what they know already, you know, get that information out of them and find a direction for them. Like, obviously, they still have to learn the key content, but in this case, I'd already taught a lot of the key content 2 years previous before our Australian curriculum came in, and all of a sudden it's a stage 3 unit, so for 5 and 6. So, yeah, I knew they knew the content, but we had to find a way to extend them still. But thank you, I appreciate that.
Lovely, thank you, Nick. Yes, no, I just want to say thank you so much. I've learned something new today. I've never heard about iTunes U, so it's something I can explore.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Fantastic. And 3:35, I'm happy.
I know, I thought I would beat you, I thought, with 4 minutes.
No one's got near the record, though.
What's the record?
Fingers crossed.
What was the record, Sonia?
It was 7 minutes, and you weren't here. I was trying to do it by myself.
7 minutes.
It was me.
Wow.
I would love to connect sometime later to talk a bit about the iTunes U. I'm really interested to find out a bit more about that. So,
sure.
And I'll also put out on Twitter if people are interested to get in touch with you to talk about it.
Yeah, I will. I'll be whacking the link up on my personal Twitter page in a moment, and I'll use the hashtag TeachMeetNZ. So all the information's there. Get in contact if you'd like any more information, guys.
Awesome.
And thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's been great to have you. It's been really good to have you. Anyone else?
I've got a technical question, Nick.
Okay.
If I have a class with BYOD and kids are bringing all sorts of devices, can iTunes U be accessed through a Chromebook or an Android tablet?
No. See, that's the sad part, because at our school, when we went BYOD, our devices that we chose were iPads. So it can only be accessed through an Apple device. You can get it on your phone, an iPhone. You can get it on an iPad, and you can access it through a MacBook. So yeah, it's a little bit limited in that only Apple devices can play it, but it is a really valuable resource still.
Thank you.
Can I just quickly chime in here? Just to let you know, we are trending. We're number 2 in New Zealand.
Yay! You can thank me later, guys. You can thank me later.
Keep it going.
Screenshot, Monica, screenshot.
Yeah.
Yes, I will do that. I will do that.
Steve, try speaking. We can't hear you.
Hey, Steve. Okay, remember what happened last time? No sound, Steve. Can you might need to restart. We'll come back to you. Okay, you might need to just drop and restart, and I'll start sending you a link. Okay, or pull the mic out. Pull the mic out. Let's just see if it's the mic, and just keep talk. Yeah, nothing. You could mime. All right. You might need to restart. I'll drop you away and I'll come back to you. Rita, then you're up next, my
All
dear.
right. Yay! Okay, I'm ready.
Hang on. Now, oh, there we go. I thought, gosh, I've got a now I've got a crash. No, I'm good. You're up, Ritu. We can see you now. So share your screen. And people, if you turn your cameras off, please.
Can you see that?
Yes, we can.
All right. Hang on. Allow. Yeah.
Yes, it's fine. We can see the full thing.
All right.
All right, Rita. Rita's using Prezi, so it might just take a little bit longer too, Kathy, because of the transitions. So, but still got a little bit of a signal to her at 3 minutes. All right, Rita, you're live.
Yeah. This presentation is about my personal and professional journey to better myself as an educator. Hi, I'm Ritu Seji, and this year I started teaching at an all-boys school over the bridge after having taught only girls for several years. Statistics show that girls outperform boys, but there are several variables. The focus of my inquiry is boys' engagement and achievement. I felt empowered to take on this new challenge due to several reasons. One of the key being change in mindset following my personal and professional development on Twitter over the past 9 months. The challenges I faced were poor perception by staff, students, parents, and wider community around technology education, using BYOD applications and pedagogy effectively, students having minimal prior knowledge and understanding of technology standards and vocabulary, and having 2 new teachers on board. My first aim was to know my learners, irrespective, undertake pedagogical readings and research, set smaller milestones and strategies informed by my research. I wanted to maximize opportunities and use strategies for teaching and learning by inviting global mentors and male role models, forming links with industry and community, providing project and inquiry-based learning, providing individualized, interesting, fun context, encouraging cross-curricular inquiry and collaboration, and most of all, changing perceptions by showing students that social media can be used for learning, using smarter digital applications for sharing student work and for collaborating. I set out to use guidebooks, examplers, and storyboards, focus on facilitating hands-on sensory learning. I have gradually started to wean students from being totally dependent on teachers to be their own teachers, provide competitive yet cooperative learning opportunities by organizing challenges, include skills training, providing authentic clients and briefs, encouraging home learning and ways to engage students, allow students to move around in the classroom and teach them to practice self-discipline in their movement via mindfulness. This opened up a whole new area for inquiry and professional development. I now give everything a go and see what brings about the shining eyes in students. It also allowed me to shadow coach teachers in a more casual setting. I reflect and review on an ongoing basis, and I try to be a nowist. I create lessons to flip learning. I provide differentiated learning opportunities. I soon realized that some students work well in groups and some work better independently. Students like choosing contexts they are passionate about or keen to learn more about. The impact this has had on my students is evident in student feedback. Surveys suggested most students wanted to learn skills and do well. I have seen a huge shift in student work ethics. Students are developing skills for independent learning and self-management. My messages to my colleagues are always have high expectations, communicate with professional learning network. Great ideas and strategies come from sharing and collaborating. It is important to challenge and extend yourself to extend students. Everything is worth a try. Show and spark passion. Show students different ways of achieving and presenting the same work. Here are some links that you could look at later. And my last slide. There will always be varied opinions and views that challenge us. After attending the Visible Learning Summit in Auckland and listening to Professor John Hattie's keynote speech, my brain was abuzz. Words that lingered in my mind. Show students what success looks like. focus on significance of surface learning, focus on the effect size. So once in a while, when I have information overload, I stop, I reflect, I review, I research a bit more and see relevance and keep the key focus, which is to make informed decisions and implement strategies that have a positive impact on student engagement and achievement. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ritu. Lovely to see you using Prezi as well, which is a different way of presenting, and a really and a strong message coming through about the independent learning, which was one of the messages that we were getting at the conference I've just been at too. So thank you for sharing. Everyone else, you could turn your cameras and mics back on.
How much time was that? Oh my God.
4:05.
5 seconds.
4 minutes. 4 minutes and 5.
Oh, I tried.
Share your screen, Ritu, please.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'm interested, Ritu, in a comment you made at the beginning about attitude. And was that a school-wide attitude to what you were approaching, or was it the students themselves?
What happened was I've taught at a girls' school for last 11 years, and I joined an all-boys school. And when I went there, I spoke with the principal during my interview, and I did say to him that there is a lot that I want to try. That the students are living in the 21st century, and there's a lot of new things that I want to try with the students. And I was given full freedom and autonomy to do that. And the students were quite on board, because the first day, the first lesson I had was with my year 13s. I walked in and the students were just fidgeting and things, and I said, all right, 2 minutes of mindfulness. And they looked at my face and I said, all right, 2 minutes, put your pens down, put everything down while I'm doing the role. I need you to just be quiet, think of take 5 deep breaths and just think of something nice. And that was it. I have never had to repeat that. When I enter the class, sometimes I feel the students aren't even in class, and I'd be waiting outside going, where are the students? And they'll be quietly sitting inside. So I think it happens both ways. It's they've just come on board, and I just did. So I did I put a survey up on SurveyMonkey at the beginning of the term when I started school, my new school, and I put one at the end of the term. And the feedback I've got is just amazing. So it tells me that whatever I'm trying is actually having a positive impact. I've done a lot of research. I've looked at successful boys and backed what I'm doing with research as well.
It's interesting because it is an area, the food technology, that is very much traditionally in the girls' schools, and yet who are our chefs and food technologists, etc.
Exactly, and I did organize Dean Brett Schneider, our Kiwi baker, to come in and spend half a day with the year 13 students, and they loved it. Yeah, so they need perfect, like I have since then got other role models, for male role models and food technologists into the classroom. I think more hands-on, real-life experiences makes it more interesting, and trending context makes it interesting.
We've just started a boys' class at our school, so I'll be putting your little piece there right through to that teacher. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. There's a lot of stuff. I think I got interviewed last year by Technology Online, and that's going live soon.
Cool. Thank you, Ritu.
Thank you.
Steve,
thanks for the opportunity.
Oh, our pleasure. And Ritu also looks after NZ Inspired. Is that right, Ritu?
Yes.
Inspired. Inspired. Yeah.
Inspired. Yeah. NZ, New Zealand, NZ.
Yeah. Okay.
Ritu, can I say, Ritu, well done. Yes. Since our last chat that we had a couple of days ago, you've shaved all teeth.
Hey, thank you so much. Because, this experience taught me so much. I learned how to do a Prezi, taught myself so much over this experience. So everything, you learn from everyone and everything. So.
Yes.
Because I also mentioned to you the other day that the parts of your Prezi you could actually use in iTunes U format. So you could actually take all the bits out and actually put it into an iTunes U.
Now you've given me another challenge. Thank you so much.
Right, Steve, you're our lucky last. So the camera's on you at the moment, and if we can ask the rest to turn off our cameras and microphones, please. I'll leave my microphone until you're live, Steve. Okay, don't forget to share screen.
Okay. Google its entire screen. TeachMeetNZ.
And
Is it coming up?
No, you need to share your screen. We can still see your wonderful face.
Okay. For some reason it didn't come up.
Yeah, the little green button.
Yep. Screen shares it entire screen and share.
That's it. Something's happening. Okay. It's up. It's up now. It's now live. I'm now turning off my mic.
Kia ora, I'm Steve Cartney from Richmond Primary School, Maraenui. We're a SR1A school in Napier. I'm the DP, Senior Syndicate Lead ICT PP4R leader. My focus today is on app smashing. This here is just one snapshot of a 2-minute presentation that the kids to do of all the apps that they actually inserted into the presentation. I got the idea from Twitter. There was a whole heap of discussion on there, and it left me thinking, sounds awesome, but where do I begin? So I started at the top end of the SAMR model in the redefine part. The best definition I've heard for students from an iTunes U course actually was redefinition as something where the kids can actually share with the world and make a change. The second focus was, what does the thinking look like? I implemented the project through an authentic problem. We were given the opportunity to present at ULearn 14 to share our 21st century journey to the world. The staff automatically turned to me as ICT leader and said, what could we do? I took it to the kids and said, okay guys, this is the brief, go forth and conquer. What were the biggest challenges? By golly, time. It was time. We squeezed every ounce of it out of our morning teas, lunch times, after schools, before schools. I had kids coming to school before 8 o'clock just to work on it. Asking good questions was a massive problem. My guys were just not good at asking questions, so I had to do a workshop on that. The biggest hurdle was visual language, teaching them the skills to convey feelings, movement, animations, filming, editing. There was a whole heap of things that we had to figure out. What impact has the project had on my teaching? Head, heart, puku. I call it, in Māori it's called wānanga. And it's when things line up and things started to make sense. And for me, it affirmed that Richmond's 21st century journey was evolving in the right direction. It affirmed within me that the learning environment and practice that we were putting into place was developing in the right direction. Has the project enhanced the learning process? Yes, collaboration. Tuakana Taina has been redefined on a massive level, not only just between our schools, but between other schools using the same tech. There's a Māori proverb that goes, e hara taku toa te toa takatahi, ngāre he toa takatini, which basically means that my prowess as a warrior doesn't come from myself, it just comes from the team, and that's one thing that we've really put in place here. What impact has this project had on the kids? One of the biggest things that we're focused on for our children at Richmond Primary is the ability for them to see their thinking. And for solo taxonomy and high order thinking maps, the kids can actually now reverse engineer what they want to present and go, oh, this is where it fits, compare, contrast, cause and effect. What message would I like to convey to my colleagues? I'm telling you it's not going to be easy. I'm telling you it's going to be worth it. MLP is the next step up from modern learning environments, and it's getting that practice, and it's not about beanbags, it's about the practice, team teaching. This is just the link that I've given you is the actual presentation that the kids put together. And that's me, thank you.
Thank you, Steve. I really like the way that you're able to combine a variety of apps and come up with something really quite special. I know that the first time we met was through the Minecraft connection, but as I've watched your work, I've been really quite inspired.
Thank you. Just trying to figure out how to unshare.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you're back to us now. Yeah, cool.
Why can't I see anyone?
You need to click on somebody else. Right, anyone else?
3 minutes 36. Yes.
Not 7 minutes.
I like the idea of starting at the top of the SAMR. It's dive in deep. Wow.
Yeah. And the kids responded to it really well, and I mean, it's just sort of pulling back as a teacher. It's stepping back and letting them just take over, and boy, did they take over.
Step away from the learners.
Yes.
And I think the other thing that I related to as teaching in the low decile school is the ability to ask questions and to understand visual language. It's two things that we've been battling with as well.
And it takes a lot of, we're at our school, we're transferring the way we teach to modern learning practice, so team teaching. We started doing it towards the end of last term, and it's getting our heads around it and our discussions around it, and it's starting to look, what really popped out was we were putting into practice what we wanted the kids to do, and it was really interesting, and they could see what we were trying to do, and they were listening to the questions we were asking, and actually looking at the questions they were asking and coming up with something in the middle. We thought, hey, this is actually working.
And no beanbags.
No beanbags. Now I've got tyres.
Oh my.
Tyres!
Our junior team want to get rid of their beanbags.
Here. I want to get rid of cushions as well.
And even looking at the way, when you're looking at modern learning environment, we're starting to look at our rooms and think, let's actually put all that stuff in that room and all that stuff in that room, and let's play with something in the middle. And it's really interesting. And I think when we look at the bones of it, going right back to how we started implementing Minecraft, like what Sonia was talking about, I mean, all the thinking was actually in there, and now we're just revisiting it and reflecting on it and going, okay, well, let's put that there, let's put that there. It's a different type of thinking.
Very different, yes.
Yeah, I think the point that you raised, Steve, it's about modern learning practice, not about the environment. The environment's all very well, but it's the practice and the pedagogy that make the difference to the learners.
Yeah, and at the moment there's massive discussions going on.
Thank you, Steve. Now, is there any? There's been a couple of questions come through that if, like I know that some of you are wanting to ask each other questions, so we can just in this last 5 minutes or so, if you've got any questions. There's nothing yet come through from the audience on our Q&A, but if there's something you want to ask each other, please do so. I'll put out that Q&A again to the audience. So if anyone out there has got a question for one of our presenters, please send it through. But yeah, so I think you had one, Steve, that you wanted to ask.
With the iTunes U.
Yes.
Looking at the only because in week 8 last term, I was given the opportunity to work with Meredith and Mal. Meredith works for Apple, and I think Mal comes from Perth. Looking at putting together our own New Zealand flavoured iTunes U uploads or downloads for teachers, and I must say, it's really exciting, and it's quite. And I'd love to touch base with you to actually see if there's anything I need to be aware of.
With regards to what exactly, Steve? Like
basically, you talked about getting the kids to create their own iTunes U, or was it just you creating the iTunes U?
Oh no, you push the content out to my students. Like you might be able to get the high school's kids, if that's who you teach. You might be able to get them to have a go at creating their own course. But because I teach the primary kids, they're probably a little bit too little to understand that just yet. Maybe in the future, you never know. Once they're more familiar with the platform, I mean, why hold them back, really? But at this stage, they're still learning.
You wouldn't by any chance have any iTunes U lessons focused around Minecraft?
I don't, but I'm sure that it wouldn't take much of a Google search to find some. I'm so sure.
And I could probably, if you're interested in getting some Minecraft stuff, there's a few Aussie educators I can get you in touch with, because it's sort of taken off here pretty big recently.
Yeah, we've got in New Zealand, Nick, we've got quite a group of educators online
wow.
here. We've also got Monica. Monica's also heavy into Minecraft as well.
Oh, great.
And at my school too, we've rolled it out to the children. I had it really locked down, but it took our 7-year-olds one lesson to unlock everything, and they're away.
I started a Minecraft club at my school last year, and was sort of overwhelmed with the demand. I mean, the kids, this is at lunchtime, and they want to give up as many lunchtimes as possible to come in and do the things that I've prepared for them. So it's a fantastic program. Kids love it.
I had 110 kids out of 200 at my last school that would come every lunchtime.
Wow.
Made playground duty a breeze for the others.
Yeah. Sorry. Nick, I'm coming down to Sydney next week. I think I want to catch up with you. I think there's lots of common interests.
Oh, I don't suppose you're coming for the GAFE Summit, are you?
Of course.
Oh, I'll be presenting. I'll see you there.
Yeah, we'll see you there. Talk Minecraft and iTunes U and everything.
Oh, there'll be the teachers that I know who are going. They'll know a lot about Minecraft, especially you want to have a chat with anyone else on Twitter listening to this. You might want to get in touch with Kimberly Sutton. She's actually doing a presentation at GAFE Summit Sydney about using games and learning in Minecraft.
Yeah, I've seen it on the list. I thought I want to come and see that. And last year, I don't know if you're aware, but last year we ran an EduCamp Minecraft over in New Zealand. Steve and his students were the stars there, and Anne-Marie Hyde's students, Cassie Downard, Sonia was there. Oh, there were lots of people from all across New Zealand there, weren't there?
It was fantastic.
And, yeah, we've done a lot of Minecraft work over New Zealand together.
Yeah, I ran a hangout recently too. Now, just that we do have a comment from our audience, and I'll just switch through to the question. And the question is coming through from Justine Driver. Thanks, Justine, for your comment. Just coming in now to watch. We'll have to rewind learning to see all the other fantastic presentations. And she also said visual language is hugely underestimated in digital technologies. We really need to be explicit about teaching it. So totally agree with you, Steve. And you, James, can you call out that question you've just said now about GAFE?
No, I was just looking to, because that Minecraft element is really growing here, and I wondered actually if anybody was coming to the GAFE Summit this coming week, actually, in the North Island, because I'm genuinely interested and would like to catch up and find out a bit more.
Yeah, I'll be there for all 3 of the days.
And I've got 2 presentations that I'm running, James, so yeah, it'd be great to see you, but basically I'll be sharing about TeachMeetNZ, which is, and I'll share some of what's been going on today, like technically what happened. It was a bit of a disaster, but we overcame it and moved right on.
James, if you watch the actual presentations that my kids did, I'd say 50% of it was Minecraft, and the stuff that I developed was just... I couldn't believe how quickly they were able to research, design, and build in such a small amount of time. And I've always had a philosophy. I've always taught the kids, if it's not big, don't come to me. I'm not into these little houses with little doors. And they started building things like at the moment. Quite a few of my class are building the Battlestar Galactica, and it's massive. Like it's on a massive scale, and they've built Roman cities. They've built and.
Have you seen the Anzac one that they're doing at the War Memorial? They've recreated Gallipoli and the trenches.
Oh, fantastic!
And I spoke with one of the Australians who's involved in that too, Nick. Gallipoli. They're doing some work with New Zealand on Gallipoli and with Minecraft.
I have heard bits and pieces about that, but I know that when I think it was the Palmy teacher, when he put up that flyer about creating Gallipoli. I know a lot of schools saw that and just took off with it. It was very, very popular here.
People, it's now 3 o'clock, so yeah, we usually go through till 3. So as soon as I finish speaking, this TeachMeetNZ will be live for you to go back and rewind and to share with your colleagues. And over the next week, I'll cut it up into your videos so that you've got an artifact for your pages and for you to share as part of your own learning. And I thank all the wonderful presentations we've had here today who've joined us, and I also thank Manal and Kathy and Monica for joining as my support team, because we can't really do this without the support team. And so thank you so much for joining us. I'll just do a quick flick of all the cameras. So you're on Ben, just a bit of a wave as it comes to you. Ben, you're up next, and Caro, just a bit of a wave to the audience as you finish off. James, Kathy, Manal, Monica, Nick.
Thanks for having me, guys.
I do namaste.
Yeah. And thank you all so much. Really appreciate it. So just before we finish, is there any last minute things? Any last minute discussion?
Again, Sonia, you've led everybody on a growth journey. I can hear from practices you've had that people have overcome all sorts of things, and you do this so well. Congratulations.
Thanks, Kathy.
Yes, I'm still in awe of what you are doing to get all these fabulous educators on TeachMeetNZ, Sonia, and get them to share their learning by way of this BLNZ platform. So well done to you all. Well done, Sonia. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, I wanted to say thanks for having me from the distance, and it makes me feel a lot closer to everybody being part of this. Thank you.
Cool.
Join Inspired in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Shameless plug.
Yeah. And Ben, great to have you all with us. Thank you so much. All right, last minute wave to the audience people before we sign off. So
Thank you,
everyone.
Sonia.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye.
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 Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.
And I'm stopping the recording now.